Olli, welcome to Biohacker Summit live show. And for our live audience that is watching us right now on YouTube, could you tell quickly about what was the keynote that you were talking about?
Yeah, it was basically about how quality kind of sets us free. I mean that, let's say that I'm eating very low quality food like normal candy or sweets or something like that. I will need a lot of willpower not to overdo it and so on, and I still don't really, it's not still good for me, no matter how I do it. And then when I go for, let's say, instead of candy, like let's say organic raspberries, they are good for me and I cannot really overdo them. So that's kind of the main idea. A lot of people think that food can be healthy but not that delicious, or delicious but not that healthy. So the main theme of this presentation was that you can and you should have both, and you should go for both. And whatever you want from your food, you should go for it all, because we can have that.
Yeah, and it doesn't really require that big of a change in your lifestyle. I mean, you still eat that kind of small, tasty things, so why not replacing candies with raspberries, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm all for those kinds of easy changes.
Right.
Because I don't know everything about you. I don't know. Let's say that I force you to make a very difficult change in yourself and in your habits. I have no idea how that will affect your whole life and every other area of your life.
Yeah.
But if you already have certain habits, then just improving on those habits, that's probably not going to be that bad of thing.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also a big fan of positive reinforcement. We don't need to suffer really to become a better version of ourselves.
Yeah, in Finland we think that we have to sometimes.
Right.
Like we have cheat days. Why not have a cheat day every day?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I see you brought the book. Could you tell us a bit more about the supermarket survival? What is it for, and what is it about?
Yeah, it's about it's about my journey. It has my story and all of that. It's kind of an upgraded version of a guidebook that I wrote, that you can find in the internet, called Nutrix, that I wrote back in 2008. A millionaire friend of mine read it back in whenever, and he said that before reading that guidebook, even though he was a millionaire, he did not buy fruit, because when he wasn't that rich, when he was like a student,
right,
he would not buy fruit if it's more than €1 a kilogram. So now he already had his cars and watches and all of that, but he still didn't buy fruit if it was more than, so you know.
Interesting.
So what I'm doing is I'm trying to sell to our culture the idea that you can invest in quality, in things that are actually meaningful. The watches are of course important and so on, but I think we should value the things that are really valuable more.
Yeah.
Because the amount or the share of our resources and our wealth that we put into, for example, quality foods, it has been just going down and down and down and down. So maybe it should be going up.
Yeah, that is kind of sad, right? Food is not something you should be saving on, because that is basically our main source of nutrients, our main source of energy. So why, you know?
And I understand all the counter arguments. I understand that if I put all my money in an expensive watch, I will get more status, I will get maybe more opportunities, some more perks, something like that, maybe, on the short term especially. But when I invest in truly valuable things, then I will like myself more, I will feel better, and I will like the people around me more. I will be surrounded by modern day superheroes, really cool people, because a lot of the people who invest in watches and in empty calories, they have people around them who are quite empty inside also, and they are sometimes quite lonely, and they have people around them who are just trying to benefit from their status and things like that. So nowadays I'm surrounded by ridiculously awesome people, because I invest in truly valuable things, and so I kind of naturally resonate with other people who have very healthy values as well. Yeah,
I agree. And I think once you start to improve one area of your life, it sort of automatically drags the rest. So if you start to eat healthier, suddenly there are more nicer people around you. Suddenly there are more interesting conversations about things that matter. And
exactly, not just watches, not just clothes, even though they are important to you.
Yeah. Cool. So in the supermarket survival, what is the main focus? Do you help people to understand better the ingredients that are in the packaging, or is it more about sort of making the right or better choices when you shop for food? What is it?
Yeah, it's all of that.
Right.
The book basically begins with my story to just throw people in, and then it goes to the bird's eye view concept.
Right.
I think the thing that has changed my life most has been the realization that I don't have to go against my nature.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, but it's kind of true in most cases.
Your body knows usually better than your mind what it needs.
Yeah. If I crave for something, then there is a reason for it. The reason that I crave for something sweet is not that I would buy some empty candy. The reason is that I'm probably actually thirsty.
Yeah, or just need some energy.
Yeah. So there are good ways to fulfill that craving and every craving. And then I break it down to 3 strategies. You can add in something good, you can improve on your old habits, or you can replace them with something similar enough. And I go through those like I did today. And then we go to the specifics. Then we go, because like once you read through that, you realize that, okay, so now I will only need to know where to find that good quality that the big advertisers don't really talk about that much. So then I will most of this is just a guidebook to finding the food that doesn't get advertised too often. The real food, the real options, the high quality options, maybe from some smaller companies and things like that.
I like that you're taking this approach of being a guide rather than giving a solution to people, because I think in the end of the day it's all really about your personal discovery and personal journey.
Exactly. I want to give you a big list of good things that you might like, that are definitely real and that are not empty calories. So now when you're watching this, you might be eating a lot of empty calories. So when you go through this, you will go through, let's say, the bread section. You buy very low quality breads, and here I will give you tips how to find better quality breads, for example. And then you might like this or that or that. And if you don't like something, even though I think it's healthy, then you don't need to eat that. But there are many options, and I want to give you the options to try out.
Cool. So what is your favorite food right now?
Fish head soup from organic salmon. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that the season?
I haven't had that in a while, but that would be my favorite if it was easier to source that kind of ingredient.
Yeah.
Because, and not just that, but all the traditional foods that are very tasty, that absorb and digest very, very well, and that are like super nutrient dense and everything.
Yeah, because salmon soup is indeed one of the most prominent examples of Finnish cuisine.
It's just that nowadays we only use the fillet, which is not the best part.
Yeah. There is a concern, though, especially in certain areas, that some types of fish is quite high in heavy metals. What is your take on that?
Yeah. Salmon is not the worst. Tuna is pretty much the worst that you can find in the supermarket.
Yeah.
And it is a concern. I met people who have started eating like super paleo, super high quality, and then they feel quite tired and kind of dizzy, and then they go to the functional medicine doctor or something. They take some tests and they're like, okay, you're like mercury poison basically. Okay, so I tend to take chlorella with my fish because I believe the chlorella will absorb most of the mercury.
Yeah. It's interesting, in my local supermarket I noticed that fish section has a screen, and on the screen you can see where the fish is coming from, how it was caught, and all that information. But
that's nice.
Surprised that, I've been going to the supermarket every day and I haven't seen it at all. But once you sort of become really mindful about what do you want to eat, that kind of signs, they sort of start to pop up from nowhere. So
yeah, that's true. And I think in general in life, for example, let's say like in human relationships, I don't have much drama in my life. It's not that I It's not that I avoid it consciously. It's just that I'm so much into the good people. I'm always looking for new good people. So I'm so much into them that I don't really even notice the other stuff. So it's kind of the same in the supermarket. I'm so enthusiastic about finding new good things and paying attention to the ones and enjoying the ones that I already know. I don't really notice the bad stuff. People ask me, like for example yesterday, somebody asked me that, is it true that like 80% of supermarket food is such bad quality that nobody should buy them? I was like, Yeah, I think so, but I don't notice them. So it's kind of, yeah. When I have to, for example, study something for a book like this, then I will go through a whole section and I will go through every product and I'm like, oh no.
Wow.
But because like there is so much bad stuff there.
Right.
But it's not a problem if you are into the good stuff.
Right.
So it's not even an investment. It's like a hobby. It's a passion. It's very rewarding from the get-go. You don't lose anything by being into good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right. So what is your most and least favorite sections in the supermarket right now?
Yeah, I would say that you can find health in every section, and you should find health in every section. You shouldn't eat just greens or just vegetables. That's not healthy.
Right.
So I'm into finding the good on every section, but if I had to say one section that doesn't have too many healthy or high quality options, probably the candy section. That's the one section that hasn't been upgraded at all yet.
Right.
And the ready to drink section is starting to get there. It has been upgraded lately. So I think probably the only section that doesn't have anything good in it yet is the candy section at the moment.
Yeah, and even if these are like vegan candies made out of natural jam, it's still like loaded with sugar and probably all kind of other additives, right?
Yeah, and I heard that in Sweden things like keto candies or something like that are starting to become a big thing, and it will be also here. But yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. I hope our audience finds some good tips. Next time they're going to the supermarket will be a bit more conscious than before. Thank you, Olli.
Yeah, and I promise to at some point translate this to English. I have tried. It's not as easy as I thought, but maybe next year. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.